All right, so last that we left off was on our little we finished up the 17th of June, okay? We've entered in our first sales, right? And we've also entered in our cost of goods sold because we have perpetual inventory, okay? So now our inventory worksheet has been updated. I believe it has. Yes, it has with our cost of goods sold. So that means all we have to do now is just go ahead and start continuing on to the next day. Okay, and we left off here. We're gonna start on the 18th of June. So what has happened here?
This will receive from Atlas Coffee Importers with inventory 320, 125 pounds of regular coffee at 136 per pound, and 125 pounds supreme coffee at 157 per pound. Terms 1%, 15 or net 30.
Okay, so what do we do here?
Debit, donation debit the item that we received. Wait, hold on a second. Seems like, the COD is separate. Okay. On June 18th.
Oh,
We'll do
oops.
regular
June.
coffee and supreme coffee, and we'll do accounts payable.
Supreme coffee and accounts payable debit. A credit, I should say.
Okay.
The regular coffee COA chart of account 1220 12020 and 12040 for the supreme. 170 for the regular coffee and 196.25 for the supreme.
196.25.
Accounts payable 36625.
And what's my number on the chart of accounts for accounts payable?
Accounts payable 20,000.
Okay. What else does needs to be done?
The notes, Atlas Coffee Imports,
Okay, so Atlas Coffee Imports.
the invoice number 320, terms 1%, 15, net 30.
Okay.
And we go to our ledger.
Ledger. Okay. But before we go there, there's one more thing that we didn't do.
Coffee inventory.
No.
No, 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 no.
Purchase orders, please.
You say purchase orders? We have to make sure that we know that we received it. So here, for the 366.25, our invoice was what?
Invoice number 320.
All right, 320. Okay. So let me go to my general journal, then now my ledger. Okay. So where do I go first?
Regular coffee.
All right, here you go, regular coffee. All right, how do I fill this out?
125 pounds.
Yeah. Are you sure we're on journal 6?
Yeah, that's the last one that we were last year.
Okay. Are we going to debit or are we going to credit your account?
Debit.
Bringing our new balance to be good. Then we're going to go down to our Supreme Coffee. General journal.
6.
Debit, how much?
96.25.
Bringing my grand total to be
5. I'm trying to use 199.80. 396.05.
396.05. Good. Okay. Then we go to our liabilities for our accounts payable. All right, so how I'm going to fill this out?
Invoice number 320. Rewriting. Then 366.25. Debit.
All right, bringing our new balance to be
14.
okay. So then what do I do next?
Go to the subsidiary ledger.
Subsidiary.
All right. Atlas Coffee, which is right here. Okay, so what do I write here? Or how do I fill it out?
We send the total pounds, so that's a total of 250 pounds. Coffee. Invoice number 320.
Okay.
Sixth journal. The term is 1%, 15, net 30. Student safety date for this.
All right. When you're given terms, what is the terms?
Percent, early date, and the due date.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It is 13 plus 15, that would be on the 3rd of July.
Okay. And if not, you have to pay the whole thing on what?
18 would be July 18.
July 18th. Good. And then invoice amount?
366.25.
366.25. And if we've posted in our formula, it should reflect that we owe that much. And if you equal sum this, we owe a total of $700 to Atlas Coffee. Okay. Now what?
We go to the next journal for the freight line.
I mean, I guess you can do that, but I wouldn't recommend that. Where do you need to go next? What did we just buy?
Coffee.
Mm-hmm.
About inventory.
Oh, inventory. Inventory.
Yes. Inventory worksheet. So regular coffee. Okay. Date here is going to be the 18th. How much was each pound of coffee?
136.
Making it a grand total of
170.
plus what was the freight? Oh, we don't have freight yet.
We don't have yet.
Wait, 136. There you go, 170. Okay, so we don't have freight yet, so we have to wait. Okay, now Supreme Coffee.
Cream 125 pounds. That's 157.
I'm in the wrong one. $1.57.
196.25.
One. You said 57 or
157 is the unit cost, and the purchase expense is 19625.
there you go, 196.25. Okay. All right. Now you can continue. So what happened next?
Freight line delivered the coffee from Atlas Coffee Importers.
Okay.
In 516, amount due 64.50 COD, and we used a check.
All right.
We journalize regular coffee.
Mm-hmm.
It's a debit. The number is 12020.
12020.
Supreme Coffee 12040. And we credit checking 10100.
Okay.
The freight for regular coffee is $32.25.
Okay.
Supreme coffee is the same, and the check is going to be for $64.50.
Good.
And then we need to go to our check register.
Yes. All right. So the date.
18.
Mhm.
And the check is for $64.50.
Okay.
Freight line.
Good.
And then we can go back to the journal and put in the check number, which is uh, 1517.
Mm-hmm. Freight line. What was the invoice number?
Invoice number 516.
516. All right. And we wrote check number 1517. Okay. Good. So where do we go next?
Inventory.
You want to go straight to inventory?
That was a question, so it sounds like no.
I mean, you can, but will you remember to go back and do the rest of the stuff?
Okay, well then let's go to the
Ledger.
Okay, so ledger. Okay, so here on that regular coffee, how do I fill it out?
freight cost.
Okay.
GJ6.
Okay.
32.25.
32.25.
Mm-hmm.
Bring in my new total balance to be
350. 3
382.75. Good. All right. So now we're at Supreme Coffee.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm. $32.25. Bring in my new grand total to be
428.30.
428.30. Okay, and these are going to be our reference points. Right, so now I'm here. Oh, wrong one. Checking all the way at the top. So what I'm going to write, how am I going to fill this out?
Check number 1517. Invoice number 516.
Come on. 516. Okay. Number 6. And how much am I going to credit for?
6450.
64.50. Bring in my new grand total to be 611.36. Okay. Where to next?
Inventory.
Okay.
The freight is 32.25.
bringing my total cost to be
202.25
$202.25. Okay.
divided by 125. Oh, yeah.
Is it necessary to do a cost per item?
No, because this is a moving average.
Okay, so what do we do here now? Now we have to update our inventory.
Inventory would be 112.5 plus 125, 237.5.
237.5. Okay.
180 plus 202, 180 plus 202, 382.50.
382.50. 382. I did not get 50.
50. Yeah, 382. You divide the quantity, 237 to get the cost,
Mm-hmm.
1.61.
Okay. Now this number could be longer than that. Do you want to round here or do you want to round later?
Later.
Later. Okay. So that means we know that when we calculate this, it needs to be the full amount.
I've got 1.610523. Of did I?
One,
283 divided by 202.50.
where did you get 202.50?
I'm, no, I'm recalculating again. 382.25 divided by 227. 1.609. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
that's fine. So now we need to calculate our supreme coffee. What was it, 32.25?
Yes.
So what's my total cost?
228.50.
228.50. Okay. And what method are we using?
This is first in, first out. So the cost divided by 125. It's 1.828.
I'm sorry, hold on. Let's do that again. 1.2.
1.828. So round it off.
Okay. So then what do we do here?
Again, the same information, the 125. Oh wait, inventory would be at that 125 plus 111. 230.
Why are you adding them together? What costing method are we
Oh,
using?
no. This is first in, first out. Sorry, the same information, what we received. So 125.
Good. Okay, at $1.83, giving me a grand total to be 228.50. All right, and where do we recognize that from? From our ledger. Okay, so making sure that you understand every time you do the ledger, it should reflect. I'm sorry, I'm not even on my ledger. The ledger should reflect whatever calculations you've made, and it's the grand total. So it's good to have always a running balance when looking at your inventories, just so then you can also keep track of everything that you do too. So here, the 428.30, if you calculate these two combined, it should equal out to 28.30 for the Supreme Coffee. All right, I'm on here we go, Supreme Coffee. Come on, Supreme Coffee. Okay, I'm on the wrong one. So here, the Asset Supreme Coffee. So that means when I go to my inventory worksheet, if you add these two together, they should equal to 428.30. And you can do so on the side if you like. What we normally do is at the very bottom of the sheet, but we don't know how long it's going to get to the very end of the page. So I'll just do a quick one on the side. There you go, 428.30 is what we should have in our Supreme Coffee. Okay, where else do we need to go? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're gonna go to freight line. Here's freight line. Okay, so how do I fill this out?
Total 350 pounds. Is check number 1517. Invoice tab 16. Journal 6. COD. Payment of 64.50.
Do we owe? Do we owe freight line anything?
None.
Okay, so how do I show that I owe them nothing?
The invoice amount.
In,
Input the invoice amount.
for how much?
Same amount, 64.50.
Good. Right, the invoice amount, right? We received the bill, then we paid it immediately. So therefore, I owe nothing. Okay. Going back to our journal. So what happened next? What happened next?
I'm sorry, and since like me and there's only 2 or 3 of us talking, I'm sorry. I know we're 11, so I'm just waiting for someone to talk as well.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, this morning I seem kind of lost. I'm trying to catch on. I'm trying to go do the journal, the ledger. I'm trying to catch up, but I haven't got my balance yet this morning. So that's my problem this morning.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So next is purchase order number 703082, all things serving.
Okay.
And in the purchase order register.
Purchase, say that again. Purchase register?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go to purchase orders. All right. Here we go. Purchase number 308. What's the date?
18.
Mm-hmm. Who did we make a purchase order to?
All things surrounded.
There you go. And what did I order from them?
80 coffee mugs.
All right, I'm going to go 80 mugs for short. All right. And what is my invoice amount?
196.80.
196.80. Okay. Do I need to update my journal?
No.
Okay. Good. All right. This is called a non-cash transaction. Okay, so it doesn't belong. Well, actually, not really. This one, it doesn't. There's no transaction being happened, so that's why we're not recording it, right? So what happened next?
Albert submits the order for the coffee, for the corner bookstore,
Okay.
entering the employees under him.
Okay, so we're gonna fill in the commissions, right? Correct. Did we actually do the service yet?
No.
No. He's only submitting the order in right now. So just like us doing a purchase order, we're going to keep track of his sales as well as what he's done. So we're going to go to the employees or the payroll sheet, and we're going to go under the subsidy ledger, and we're going to go to the commissions. Oh, not this, not the general ledger, the commissions. There you go. So here we have a different person. Who's this different person that he wrote an invoice to, or that he's putting an order for?
Corner bookstore.
The corner bookstore. Right? Potentially this is supposed to be invoice number 2. And what was his amount that the purchase order was for?
Estimated cost 127.75.
127.75. All right. Because we haven't done the delivery yet, there's no need to calculate his 10% commissions. Okay. All right. So what has happened next?
Here's a purchase order to Atlas Coffee Importers.
Okay.
So, again, in there, and journal.
I am in the journal. You are going to record it?
No.
No.
It's purchase order.
It's a purchase order. Good. So where are we going to do that?
The purchase orders.
The purchase orders. Because as inventory manager, you need to keep track of all the things that you've purchased, and you also need to keep track of everything that you received. So you don't pay too much, or you don't, and you know who you owe. Right? So same date right here. Invoice number 309. To who are we doing a purchase order for?
Atlas Coffee.
Liz Coffee, good. For what?
250 pounds coffee.
250 pounds coffee. And what's the amount of the invoice for?
370.
370. Perfect. Okay, so we still have two. We have pending two different types of purchase orders. Okay. So then what has happened next?
We made some sales.
Yes, we did.
With a 20% discount on all the sales.
Good. And what else? What's so significant about these sales? I'm sorry, Vina, I did not hear you. Yeah, we made a profit. So what do we do? How do we journalize this?
All sales proceeds should go to the checking account.
Good. All right. Now, because on journal number 6, what I want you to do is I want you to make sure that you keep all your transactions together. So in this case, this is not enough lines. I'm going to put, this is not enough lines to fill in everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line in my little box right here so that no one has the capability to enter in a transaction, because you can put about maybe 2 transactions in here. But in this case, I don't want any transactions to be placed in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line from the date all the way to the credit. The credit. And I'm going to choose a thicker line. So then you can actually see that this line is being canceled out. So I don't want to use that. I don't want to break up my transaction. I want to keep it all nice, cozy, and simple all together. So with that being said, I'm going to move on to my next page here to start my transaction here. I believe you think you were 1 off on this one, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make sure I do the rules just as accordingly. Okay, so I heard the first account that we're looking into is going to be the checking account. All right, for all the sales. So do I have a total amount or do I have to calculate it?
The whole amount, because it already showed the discount there and the tax.
What do you mean the whole amount?
80727.
80727.
Yeah.
727. Okay. What else do I need to have here?
Sales discount.
You need the sales discount, right? Sales discount is a contra account. What was it? What's the account number for sales discount?
46,000.
46,000 at what total?
186.44.
186.44. Okay. All right. What is next?
Sales tax.
Okay, sales tax. Debit or credit?
Credit.
Credit for how much?
61.52.
61.52. And what was my account number for it? $27,000?
Yes.
Good. What else do we need to include in here?
The coffee. Wait, I'm sorry.
We're gonna need to credit our sales dash medium regular coffee.
Good. We need to itemize our sales. So here we need to put sales, medium, regular coffee. We need to also put in our sales, large,
You itemized them.
regular coffee. We need to do sales, medium,
Okay.
and we also need to do sales, large, supreme coffee.
And also the coffee mug.
Okay, what's my account for that? What's my actual account name for that?
For what?
For the coffee mugs.
Coffee mugs, right?
Check in your chart of
Sales,
accounts.
sales
Sales,
coffee
so,
plants.
sales ceramic coffee mug.
Sales ceramic coffee mugs. All right, whatever's in your chart of accounts. Remember, you can't just make up whatever title you want to make up. Whatever you designated in your chart of accounts, it needs to reflect it. Because if you just write coffee mugs or whatever, what does that also look like? It also looks like your inventory, right?
Inventory. Okay.
Yes, it
Yes.
does.
So you want to make sure that you're very specific, and whatever account that you title it for, it has to be the exact what we have. So in this case, I have sales ceramic coffee mugs for 405.
50.
Yeah, 40150. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and write in sales ceramic coffee mugs. Okay. And what are those figures or those account numbers?
Medium is 4,300.
4,300,
40,
4,350, 4,450, 4,500, and
4150.
4,150. Cool. Okay, good. So what are my credits amounts going to be?
Medium is 161.19.
Okay,
236.21.
okay,
206.67.
okay.
86.18.
286.18. Okay.
41.94.
And this one is
190.
41.94. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and double check with my accounting to see if they equal up. Okay, so 99371 on both sides. They match 100%. Good. Okay, so what am I going to write as my description here? Or what's my notes?
Grand opening, 20% discount.
Good. Grand opening, 20% discount. Okay, what else?
In-store sale.
In store. Ooh, my fingers are all off. In store sales. Good. All right.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I'm checking the subtotal,
Mm-hmm.
932.19, and you got 993 something. Am I calculating differently?
993. Say that again.
Is 807.27 plus 186. 993.71, but on the left side, the grand opening,
Mm-hmm.
the summary, it shows 930, the subtotal shows 932.19. Am I,
That's before the discount.
this is okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Is everything okay? So if you were to add the yeah, if you were to add those up, it gives you a completely different amount, right? And you don't need to add your amount right there. It's just 807. All right. But when we add our totals together, this is without the discount, right? When we add up all the total sales, right, the total left side of the corner, that's everything excluding the sales, where the sales discount. Where the left side, right, it includes a sales discount. Okay.
I got it.
All right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So where do we need to go now?
To
Deposit.
deposits,
To deposits. Yes, because we received a chunk of money. So deposits. Okay. How much did we receive?
80727.
Mm-hmm. And what is the date? 18. And we're gonna deposit that money immediately. Okay, for 807.27. Okay. So now to where do we go next?
Your ledger.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna go to the ledger. Okay. So here's the ledger. We're gonna go to, what's the first thing that we need to go to?
Checking.
Checking. So we're gonna go to the assets, scroll all the way up. All right. So how do I fill this out?
You're gonna say sales?
Mm-hmm. The note's going to be sales or the item. Sales, good. General journal,
7,
7. Right.
and the total,
Bringing me a grand total of how much?
1418.63.
Yes. Good. All right. Where do I go next?
Sales discount.
Sales discount. So that's going to be under revenues. All right. You're going to go look up your sales discount. So it should be right here. Sales discount. All right. How are you going to fill it out?
Okay, grand opening, 20% off discount.
Good. All right.
7, 7.
General journal 7. Good.
Oh, the discount would be 186.44.
All right. Bringing my new total balance to be 'What's my new total balance going to be?
192.27 plus 186.24. Oh, 27 plus 186.44. 35871.
35871. Good. All right. Then we got to go itemize all of our things here. So, where's the next thing we got to do? Since we went a little backwards here, we're going to do sales tax payable first. Okay. Whatever you journalize it is what you got to place it into your ledger just in case you skip around and you start forgetting to place that information, or did you remember, or I thought I did so. That game, you don't want to play that game. So you want to just make sure that you keep everything in order. So sales tax payable, here it is. Okay, so June 18, nothing there. What's my general journal going to be? General journal 7, good.
Credit.
How much?
Okay, 186? Is that 186? No, 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 no. 61.52, I should say.
Okay, bringing my new, my ending credit balance to be
11837.
11837. Okay, good. Okay. Now we can go back to our sales and itemize every single thing. So here, my first one is going to be sales for medium coffee. So here I see Supreme Coffee. This is just the regular or the by the pound. This one says ceramic coffee mugs. We will enter that afterwards. Here you go. Sales medium regular coffee. So I'm going to go ahead and write in here the date. How much medium regular coffee did I sell?
Regular, 161.90.
161.19. Okay, so 161.19. General journal number 7. All right. How many cups did I actually sell? You don't want to put that information in?
81.
81.
One.
Okay. So then what is my new balance going to be?
So 1840.
318.40. Okay. So what's next after that?
Let's do the regular large coffee.
Mm-hmm. How many cups did I sell?
79.
79 cups. All right. General journal number 7. All right. What's my total amount that I credited for?
236.21.
236.21.
22621.
Okay. Bringing my new balance to be
44561.
4,561.
44551. 44551.
Okay, there you go. Good. Okay. Let's scroll down here for our medium supreme coffee. All right. How many cups did I sell?
83 cups.
83 cups.
I'm sorry, Lynn. I was talking with the hospital to check on my grandma's condition.
Oh, that's fine. Seven. Okay. Okay. So how much is my credit for my large supreme? My medium supreme coffee.
20657.
206.67. All right. Bring in my new total to be
40836.
408.36. All right. Now we have our large coffee cups. So how many cups did I sell?
82.
Okay. 82 cups. General journal number 7. And how much was my total large cups for? 286.18, bringing me to a grand total of 579.34. Okay, good. Now scroll all the way up to find your ceramic coffee mugs. Here you go, sales ceramic coffee mugs. All right, the 18th of June. How many coffee mugs did I sell? 6. Okay. General journal number 7. All right, and how much am I going to credit my account for?
4194.
41.94, bringing my credit balance to be 41.94. All right. Good. All right. We completed my ledger. So what comes next?
Your inventory.
How do we do inventory? We didn't even calculate how much, we don't even know how much has been sold. Do we know how much has been sold?
Well, based on the information there, we sold 83, 82.
Where are you looking at to find 83, 82?
Well, all those ones that are based on the journal. Oh, based on what you input on the revenues. On the information in here itself, it says the quantity that we sold.
Okay. So how many pounds did I use? Is 1 cup of coffee going to give is 1 cup of coffee going to be 1 pound of 1 bag of
No.
coffee?
Okay. No, okay. Now I know. Okay.
In store use,
Okay. Yes. So the in-store use is right here. So this is how we calculate a cost of goods sold. All right. So what do you want to do? Do you want to place the foundation down first, or do you just want to go directly straight to the inventory worksheet?
What do you mean by place the foundation first?
Place like what accounts are you going to be using?
Oh, okay. For the inventory?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the COGS.
Yes, cogs.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, I'm getting it. I'm
Okay.
getting
Yes.
COGS. Cogs. Oh, that's a good name, Cogs.
Cogs. Supreme Coffee. Right? This is called laying down the foundation, saying, okay, well, this is what I'm going to be calculating. So then you don't forget to journalize it, all right? So there you go. I have my cogs ready to go. I've only have half my journal, but that's okay. That's good enough for now. So let's go ahead and jump straight into our inventory worksheet. Because we need to solve for our cost of goods sold. All right, so regular coffee. How many pounds did I use in the store?
13.5 pounds.
13.5 pounds. So I'm going to go here for June 18. All right, I used 13.5 pounds. Right? How much is it going to cost me to sell 1 pound?
Divided by 2.65.
1.60947.
Good. All right, so this is where I'm going to go ahead and use my equal round formula because I already know by looking at that large number, that's where my rounding will come into play. Or that's where if I make the slightest rounding, it's going to throw my numbers off. So here I'm just going to ensure that when I round it, it will round to the nearest penny. So in this case, can someone calculate for me what is 13.5 pounds times 1.0, I'm sorry, 1.60947, blah, 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 so on and so forth.
21.727845.
Okay, so she said, yes, 21.727. So 727 makes it 73. So 2173 is going to be that right there. Right? So with that being said, how do I update my inventory? Mm-hmm.
54 even.
224 even. And then how do I find my total cost?
25 minus 21, 73. 360.52.
360.52. So therefore, I need to recalculate my average cost per item. And what do I get?
1.60194642.
So the same exact number. Nothing has changed. Well, I got point.
Yeah. 1.60194642. Yeah, 46.
Okay. So it's slightly changed. So I'm going to go ahead and clear and leave that there. Right? So then for Supreme Coffee, let's go ahead and calculate this. How many pounds of Supreme Coffee did I use?
14 pounds.
I used 14 pounds. Okay. What method am I using to calculate my cost?
First in, first out.
First in, first out. So which batch am I taking out from?
First batch.
First batch of 180. Okay. So go ahead and calculate that. What is 180 times 14?
2520.
2520. Okay. So now we got to update our inventory. All right. So how do I update my inventory?
From subtract. Subtract it from the first one, the 111. 111 minus 14.
Should give you 174.60, which should change your balance to become now 403.10. All right, keep that number in mind because that's going to reflect when you complete your journal. All right, complete the ledger. So 403.10. All right, and that's how you update your inventory. Okay. So now that we have our cost of goods sold, right, we know that for the Supreme Coffee, our total amount that we sold was $25.20, and then for my regular coffee is $21.73. So I'm going to go to my journal, and that's exactly what I'm going to place here is $21.73 and $25.20. All right. All right. Can someone tell me what the cost of goods sold regular coffee account number is?
50050.
50050.
50 100. 5100.
5100.
Five
There you go. All right. So where am I actually taking this out of?
regular coffee and Supreme coffee.
We're taking it straight out of inventory. Correct. For regular coffee and Supreme Coffee. Okay. And that should be 12, 2020, 1240. All right. And it's going to be the same exact amount because that's exactly how much you sold. So that's exactly what you're going to be taking out of your inventory. Okay. All right. And I'm going to finish this off with my little note here. What am I going to say here?
In-store use.
In-store use. In store use. Good. Okay. So what comes next? Where are we going to go next?
Ledger,
The ledger. Okay. So what's going to come first? Your cost of goods sold, regular coffee, right? Okay. How many pounds did I use?
13.5.
Okay. General journal number 7. Okay. And how much was those 13.5 pounds?
2173.
2173. Bringing my balance to be
4173.
so 4173 is what I've used in total between the span of 2 days. Right? For my Supreme, how many pounds did I use?
14.
Maybe I should just copy that directly. General journal number 7. All right, and how much did my 14 pounds cost me?
25.20.
25.20. Bringing my new grand total to be
5040.
50.40. Good. All right, now what's the next account that I'm going to go to?
The month.
Mugs?
Yeah, we sold. Oh, wait, the coffee mug?
Let's finish our ledger right now. Let's finish posting to the ledger before we move on to that.
We're gonna go to our regular coffee.
We're going to go to our regular coffee.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think we're done with that. I'm sorry.
No. We're not done. Once we do a cost of goods sold, we need to find our equal and opposite credit or whatever, which way you go. Okay? So here, I'm going to update this. I'm going to say I used 13.5 pounds of coffee. General journal number 7. And we're going to credit our account by $21.73. So therefore, what is my new balance?
4173.
41.73. Where'd you get that?
I used the credit. I was adding those 2 credits. The key information of the credit.
Where are you on the ledger?
I'm there right now on the assets. I was adding. Wait, I'm sorry. Oh, that's where I got confused. I was adding both the credit figure there, the $20, the 20, and the 2173.
Okay. All right, because we had to separate them. So what's my new total amount in my regular coffee? All right, and if we look at our inventory worksheet, right, if we go to regular coffee, what is my total amount there?
360,
Exactly. They match 100. They match 100%. Right. So that's your point of reference to match yourself when you do your ledger and your worksheet. Okay. So back to my ledger and back to my journal. Now that I've completed my regular coffee, I'm going to go down to my supreme coffee. All right. Date here is the 18th. General journal number 7. All right. And how much am I going to credit my account for?
2520.
2520, bringing me a grand total in my normal balance to be
42310.
I did not get 42310.
Oh, I'm subtracting.
40310. And where do we see that number pop up again?
Inventory.
Your inventory worksheet right here. I've added up the total 40310. So that means I did my calculations right. I did my accounting correct. So I can go ahead and move on with my rest of my scenarios, right? Let me see. Okay, it's not even 10 yet. All right, so come on. Let's go ahead, and we've already deposited our money. We've already updated our inventory. Now, question to you. What happened to my coffee mugs that I sold?
It is under periodic.
It is under the periodic inventory. Do we care how much we sell?
No,
No, because when do we find out how much items we actually sold?
at the end of the certain period.
At the end of the given period. That is correct. So do we need to journalize it? No,
Not now.
not now, but we will at the end of the given period. All right? So now that we've completed this entire day, now the next day is the 19th, and guess what has happened? So what has happened here? What has happened here?
He delivered the order.
Who delivered it?
That is from, who is that commission president? I'm sorry,
Albert.
Albert.
Okay, so if he delivered this, what does that mean?
He gets a commission.
He gets the commission, but what else do we also have to do? What is so significant about him completing this task?
We make some money.
We made money. Correct. We made money. So how are we going to go about this? Let's look at the invoice carefully. Okay, so we have invoice 101, right? We have the date that was delivered, which is June 19. They are given terms 50% COD net 5. All right, I mean it's due, the whole thing is due in 5 days. They don't get to receive any discount at all, and they are required to give you a 50% down payment for the cash on delivery. Okay, here we have it's the Katie's Coffee Corner, which we've quoted to her that the total amount that she's going to pay is $219.05. All right, if she wrote us a check for 50% COD upon receiving the items, okay, that means she owes us a remaining of 109.52. Okay? So, how am I going to record this entry?
Then you, the debit itemize on those three different items, debit,
What three different items?
the regular coffee, the supreme coffee, and the coffee mug.
Why are we debiting that? Are we receiving it?
Oh, no. Should be credit, we sold.
Okay, good. We sold, but what is the specific account?
It should be checking and receivables.
Yes, it should be checking because we did receive 50% of the money. She wrote a check right here. It's right here, right below. It says we receive a check number 412 from Katie's Coffee Corner for the 109.53. Okay, so checking, all right, is going to be 10,100 for the 109.53. Okay? And because she didn't pay for the full amount, because she's quoted 219, she only paid for half of it. So therefore, she owes us, right, on an accounts receivable. She owes us the remaining amount. Good. An accounts receivable, what's the account number for that? All right, and we know from looking at our bill, she owes us 109.52. Okay. Now, let's look at these items very carefully. We're selling it by the pound. We're not selling it by how much coffee that we made, right? We're selling it by the pound. So, by looking at the chart of accounts, what am I selling? What is going to be my account?
Regular coffee and supreme coffee.
Sales. Good. And then lastly, we also sold some coffee mugs. Okay. So here, sales regular coffee. And then we also have some sales for supreme coffee. And lastly, we also have sales for the ceramic coffee mugs. Okay. So, what is going to be my totals here? Well, what's my account numbers for the sales regular coffee? I think it's 100.
Oh, for, right.
And then 40.
And the mug is 150.
150. Okay. Is that all my journal that I have?
Commission.
Okay. What? Okay, so we're not going to charge commission just yet. That's when we pay Mr. Albert. Okay? That's when we paid Mr. Albert. Let's plug in the numbers first real quick, and then we can solve for it in a second. So here, how much was my regular coffee? $49.35. How much is my Supreme coffee?
$39.90 and then $99.80.
$99.80. Okay. If I'm gonna go ahead and sum up my totals, and then you'll understand exactly what I'm asking.
Delivery.
Say that again.
Delivery charge.
Delivery charge.
Yes, we need to have delivery charge. So here we're off by $30. Okay. Right, we're exactly off by $30. And where do I see $30 is my delivery charge. Now, go ahead and find where that is in your chart of accounts before you go look for it in your ledger. Or in your chart of accounts. So because delivery, it's not technically part of what our main core operation is. However, it is still, we're receiving something, right? So where would that fall under?
Income.
Yes, it's an income, right? We earned money off of delivering our items.
Delivery income.
Delivery income, and what account number is that?
48,000.
48,000, right? So right here, I'm going to credit it because that's my missing credit, right? Delivery income for, what was it? 48,000? The account number?
Yeah.
And it's exactly for the $30. Since we've already did our calculations, we found out that we're short by $30, so there's no point to have to recalculate it again. We know that where we're missing are $30. Okay? All right. What's my description going to be, or my notes?
Delivery to Katie Coffee Corner.
So we're at Katie's Coffee Corner. Okay.
With the amount of $109.53.
You don't need to write the amount number.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Check number.
Okay. Check number 412.
As well as invoice number 101.
Correct. Invoice that would already sum up all of this information. But that's okay. Check number 412 is valid, all right? And I'm going to write here in there 50% COD, comma, invoice number 101. Okay. Good. So, what is going to happen next?
Deposit.
Deposits. Okay, so here, is it necessary for us to go to the bank like 3 or 4 times in a day?
No.
Since we're going to go at the end of the day anyways, what we do is we're just going to keep the check here in the deposits. So 109.53. Okay? We'll keep that check in our deposits, and when we reach the end of the day, when we actually have our cash sales, right, when we do our grand opening, right, that's when we deposit all the money, including this check right here. So in this case, we know that we're going to put it in our checking eventually at the end of the day. So here, this is just a reminder that we collected $109.53 from Katie's Coffee Corner, but we're not going to deposit just yet. Okay, good. What's next?
the ledger.
Let's go ahead and do the ledger. When I find my mouse. Okay, so ledger it is. So go ahead. Where do we start off first?
Checking.
Yes, we're going to go to checking. All right. 618. So what is, how do I fill this out? Or what are you going to fill out?
Sales, the,
Kathy's Coffee Corner,
You could do Katie's Coffee Corner,
check number,
check number, okay? So I'll write right here, Katie's Coffee Corner, check number
412.
412. All right. General Journal number 7. And did we increase or did we decrease our account? We increased it by 109.53, bringing my new grand total to be 1528.16. Okay. What's the next account that we're going to go to? What's the next account?
Accounts receivable.
Accounts receivable. Okay, so Lynette, what we're doing is we're transferring everything that we wrote in our journal into our ledger. Okay, so here we're just following exactly how we journalize it. I just finished my checking, so the next one I'm going to do is my accounts receivable. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put the date here. All right, accounts receivable. What are we going to place here?
Katie's Coffee Corner.
Yes, Katie's Coffee Corner.
50% COD, net 5.
We don't need to have that information there. What we can have is the invoice number, right? Because the invoice pretty much tells you exactly all that information, that she paid 50% down, that it's due in 5 days. All right? And it also tells you how much is actually due. Okay? So what is going to be my post reference?
7.
Yes, General Journal 7. General Journal number 7. All right, and it should be for
Debit 109.52.
109.52, bringing my beginning balance to be 109.52. Okay. Now what is next? What account is next?
Regular coffee sales on the regular coffee.
Sales on the regular coffee. So scrolling all the way to the top. Here, my very first account or my second account is going to be my sales for regular coffee. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and write the date. How many pounds did I sell?
15.
We sold a total of 15 pounds, correct. Okay, General Journal number 7. And how much am I going to credit my account for?
49.35.
$49.35. 4935, bringing my beginning balance to be 4935. Okay. If we scroll down, here's my second account going to be Sales Supreme Coffee. All right, so 618. How many pounds of Supreme Coffee did I sell? 10. Sold 10 pounds. General journal number 7. What's my credit going to be? 39.90. Bringing in my beginning credit balance to be 39.90. All right. Next is my ceramic coffee mugs. How many coffee mugs did I sell? 20. 20 mugs. Okay. General journal number 7. And how much was that for?
$99.80.
$99.80. So here, since I have a beginning balance, what is my total current balance in my sales ceramic coffee mugs? What's my total here? 14174. Good. All right. Lastly, we're going to go to our delivery income, which should be at the very bottom of your inventory. I'm sorry, your revenues. So here, delivery income, all right, 618, all right. I'm going to go ahead and put invoice number 101 because that's why I charged the delivery income to, right? I charged it for my invoice 101. And how much did I charge? $30, making my beginning balance to be $30. Okay. All right. We're halfway done. What is the next thing I need to do?
Go to the subsidiary ledger.
Subsidiary ledger. Okay. Subsidiary ledger. Okay. Who am I dealing with?
Katie's Coffee.
So is that a customer, a vendor, or an employee?
Customer.
It's a customer. So on the customer's page or your subsidiary ledger, it should be the very first page. All right, so here's Katie's Coffee Corner. I'm going to space it out just real quick. Oh, okay, so Katie's Coffee Corner. So how do I fill out Katie's Coffee Corner? What's my notes going to be?
Regular, or the total coffee that was sold, including, I'm sorry, no,
Where else can you find that? What significance do you need to write down here in your notes?
the invoice.
We already have we have a section for invoice.
Yeah,
What else happened in that transaction?
Oh, we received the check.
Correct. All right. So we received. So I'm gonna write right here 50% COD. COD and check number, was it 416, 416,
for
412? Okay. Invoice number, yes, it's going to be invoice number 101. Post reference,
7.
general journal number 7. All right. Did we give them terms?
Yes.
When does it due? Net 5. Good. Net 5, meaning obviously there's no discount date. So when is the whole thing due?
23.
23. Okay, so June 23rd is when it's due. All right. Was there an advance payment?
Would it be the,
Go ahead.
I would say 109.52.
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay, advance payment. Did they give us the money before we delivered the stuff to them?
No, it got them when it was delivered.
They gave us the money when it was delivered. Correct. So was there a prepaid account involved?
No.
No. All right. So here my little titles are a little different. This time I'm looking at sales. What was my total invoice sales amount for?
21905.
21905. All right. Obviously she hasn't done a sales returns yet or a sales discount yet. We didn't give her any. Was there a payment?
Yes.
Yes.
10903. 109 something.
53.
53.
Okay. So her accounts receivable, right? It's the same. The formula is going to be identical to your vendors, right? Except this time I'm going to go for sales, right? I'm going to subtract any advance payments. I'm going to subtract any sales returns, any discounts, and lastly, I'm going to subtract any payments. So with that formula being said, my total amount that she owes me, right? Katie's Coffee Corner owes me is 109.52, which is exactly the amount that is on the invoice. Okay, so here, the total amount of invoice, she paid half of it. We already recognize it's 50% down COD, and the check number is 412, giving me a grand total of 109.52. Okay? What else do we need to do? What else do we need to do?
What about the commission?
Let's go ahead and look at commissions. Good. So, commissions. So, what was the date that he shipped the items to Katie?
219.
The 19. Was it the 19? Okay, I got to go back and fix all my dates. The 19. Good. All right, invoice 101. All right, for the total amount of 219. Now, what this person's going to get is they're going to get 10% of all sales. Now, sales are final. So if there's a return, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect, you don't need to adjust. Whatever he sold, he sold. So in this case, what is going to be my 10% of 219?
2190.
Okay, I'm going to also do equal round here so then I can get a nice round number. Okay, comma 2. All right, so I get 21.91, right? Because I got that 5 cents to push my number up one. So my total commissions that I'm going to be giving to Albert on payday is $21.91. Okay, so that means Albert's got to work really hard and turn in some more purchase orders in order to actually make a lot of money. Okay, all right. What else do we need to do? All right, this is the last thing that we need to do. Okay, I'll give you another hint. What did we sell?
For the inventory,
We sold our inventory.
Cost of goods sold?
We need to calculate our cost of goods sold. All right. So cost of goods sold, so June 19, COGS for regular coffee. And we also need cost of goods sold for our Supreme coffee. Okay. And okay. So with that being said, we need to go ahead and calculate how much we sold. Now, given to the scenario here, we know how much we sold, right? We know that we got rid of 15 pounds, and we know right here we got rid of 10 pounds of for Supreme. So we're going to go to our inventory worksheet. Okay, go to regular coffee, and let's go ahead and solve for the items that I sold. So June 19, I sold 15 pounds of regular coffee. How much is it per pound to sell?
169.46.
Yes. So here again, I'm going to do my equal round so that I have a nice number. Right? And what is my total amount that I actually sold? What's my cost of goods sold?
24.14.
24.14. Good. All right. Now that I know that I sold 24.14, let's go ahead and update my inventory. Okay. So how do I solve for this?
209.
You said 209.
249 is 15.
Good. And what is my total here?
336.38.
336.38. Good. So let's go ahead and calculate my cost per item.
1.60947.
All right, so it's the same. Well, it actually jumped up a thousandth of a penny. Okay. Good. So now we got to go ahead and go to my Supreme coffee and also update my inventory here. So June 19, we sold 10 pounds at how much?
$1.80.
$1.80 because we're doing the first in, first out rule. So let's go ahead. That doesn't need to be rounded because it's already rounded. So what's your total amount that you get? $18. So therefore, we got to update our inventory. We no longer have 97. How many items do we have left? 87. All right. Bringing you a grand total of 385.10. Okay. So here we sold 18 of Supreme, and here we sold 24.14 of regular. So go back to my journal and record here that I sold 24.14 of regular and 18 of Supreme. And where am I taking this out of?
From the inventory.
Okay, and what are they? Regular coffee and then Supreme coffee. Okay, so that should be 12.020 and 12.040. And you're going to credit them for the same amounts of 24.14 and $18. And then here I'm going to go ahead and indicate here that I sold to Katie's Coffee Corner. All right. Good. So the last thing I'm going to have you guys do is update your ledger, and then we'll call break. Okay, so ledger. We're going to go to cost of goods sold. Okay, for regular coffee, June 19. How many pounds of coffee did we sell? We sold 15. Okay, general journal number 7. And how much did that coffee? 24.14. Bringing my grand total to be 65.87. That's how much coffee we've used so far. Right? For my Supreme coffee, so June 19, how many pounds did I sell? Sold 10 lbs. Okay. General journal number 7. And what was my total amount for? Giving me a grand total of, what's my new balance? 68.40. Okay, good. 68.40. Right. And then lastly, we got to update our inventory, right? We got to credit those amounts. So by doing so, I'm in my assets. I'm going to go find my regular coffee. So here's regular coffee for $6.19. And this one we sold 15 pounds. Okay, general journal number 7. And we sold it for 24.14, giving me a new total of
$336.38.
336.38. And where does that match?
Inventory.
Yes, it should match your inventory worksheet. Okay. So last one we got to do is update our Supreme coffee. So here, June 19th, we sold 10 pounds LBS. And general journal number 7. And how much of that did I sell?
18.
Okay, bringing my new grand total to be
421.
you added.
Where I get confused. 483. I thought I did it first.
385.
385.10, which if we look at our inventory worksheet is exactly what we have right here. Total for my Supreme coffee is 385.10. Okay? So good. All right. I am going to mark right here to be the next portion that we come back from the break for. So go ahead and take a break. Right now it is, I'm going to call it at 10:35. So be back in 15 minutes. So 10:35, be back by, what is that, 10:50?
Yes.
10:50.